Minister, if I can just take that a little bit further. I mean, the issue of internet and censorship was one of those that I flagged earlier when I made my remarks.
Yes.
And there was also the issue of censorship. And at the moment, there is a new review committee which is taking another look at that. And I wonder if you could say, having gone through that experience, what advice you would give to those who are leading the charge on that issue now. And the third point was the pruning of the banyan tree. It's still a work in progress. What's your assessment on whether there's still a need for more pruning in this new, disintermediated world?
Censorship is not an easy subject to handle because of its very nature. But no one can accept a free-for-all. Because in any society, the young must be raised. And of all the species, human beings take the longest to achieve full maturity as adults. And the reason is not just physical. The reason is because there's a lot of social programming needed to make that individual a part of society. Many lines of software code that have got to be input from the time the child is born. He learns accents, tastes in food, languages, social norms, what's right, what's wrong. Then he becomes an adult. Once he's an adult, you can have free play. But in the first 20 years of his life, more or less, you've got to have a nursery. And that nursery requires censorship. So no society, however much it proclaims freedom to be a higher ideal, will give up censorship because it has got to raise the next generation according to certain values and norms. And take the U.S. In fact, there are many aspects of political correctness in the U.S. which, from the perspective of other countries, come across looking very much like censorship. You know, if you prepare your resume in America, you can't have a photograph. Because otherwise people will judge you on the basis of your skin color or whether you look one way or the other. You can't give your age. You can't give your race. Okay, fair. That's the American system. But other countries have other values, other starting points and end points, and therefore they have other norms which they require people to adhere to. And it is not whether these regulations are watertight, hermetically sealed, which matter. I came to that conclusion very early when I was in the ministry. What matters is the signaling that you are sending. What is approved, what is disapproved. Children observe adult behavior. They get scolded, they get told off, they get praised, and gradually they are channeled, they are formed, they set. And that's important. Censorship is important for setting certain norms. So I don't see us, we'll probably make adjustments because of the internet. We'll probably liberalize a bit more because there's no choice. But I don't see us giving up the idea of censorship because they're so important for intergenerational continuity. On the banyan tree, whether we like it or not, instead of a banyan tree, we are beginning to see all kinds of growth. It's not just Singapore, it's all society. The climate has changed, the ground has changed, the vegetation changes, and that's inevitable. And in some ways, we should facilitate it and direct the tendencies so that we optimize the outcome. In other words, if we look at the world as a dense World Wide Web, and nodes are competing one with the other, our economic well-being requires us to be an important node with many synaptic connections to other nodes. Economic links, cultural links, free trade agreements, standardized access, free movement of money, of people, of ideas, then all the nutrients, all the energies will flow through Singapore, and then we will light up. That's what we want to be. And because of our own history and the way we are organized, we have to move in that direction. Being diverse, being connected, maintaining order amidst diversity, treating diversity not as an inconvenience or as something to tolerate, but something to be celebrated and as a strength. It doesn't mean that we give up all controls, because if you do not swat flies, then you can't open your windows wide open. You won't get all the oxygen that you need. So you need to swat flies. Then you can open the windows wide. And that requires boldness, because there are risks. That requires effort, because there's a lot of work to be done. And it requires a certain tolerance for occasional discomforts.